Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. There is a German word, Schadenfreude. It literally means shameful joy, and that's feeling of euphoria you get when someone else fails. And that's how I felt this morning when I was reading this article. And the people who have failed will be the trans lobby. They have over, the last sort of 18 months, 2 years, sort of castigated, threatened, insulted, and delivered a lot of bile and hate towards J.K. Rowling. Especially the likes of Emma Watson, the ungrateful wretch, whose sole sort of claim to fame is entirely off the back of the works of the blessed J.K. Rowling. And so why am I feeling joyous about what's happened? Well, normal people seem to think that J.K. Rowling isn't all this sort of full of hate and awful person. In fact, they think so much of her that sales of her books have jumped 35%. Oh dear, poor old Emma Watson on the wrong side of history again. Let's look at this article. So, sales of Harry Potter books soar magically despite the calls for a boycott of J.K. Rowling over her trans views. This boycott is being called by the 44 people in the country who are trans and they're mad hangers-on and fellow travellers. They have got zero voice, as we know now, because publisher Bloomsbury is hoping for a bumper festive period led by Harry Potter. And boy, did Bloomsbury ever strike a deal there. Yeah, okay then, Joanne, we'll give you a go. We've never published anything before, but we'll give this one a go, see how it goes, love. All right, bye. Put the phone down. Ka-ching. Anyway, sales of the Boy Wizard Adventures have soared in spite of a call for the author boycott. Like I say, this call was done by the very, very, very tiny and yet very loud bunch of mentally ill trans and their hangers-on. J.K. Rowling has been criticised by some corners for her transgender views, which are actually perfectly normal views. She at no point ever says that transgender people shouldn't exist, shouldn't work, shouldn't have jobs, etc. She has in no way ever said that transgender people shouldn't have any rights or anything like that. All she's insisted on is that transgender men should not play against women in a field of sport, and that certain safe spaces for women should be exclusively female only. No men, regardless of their hurty fifis. Things like DV refuges, for example. Changing room with women and young girls will be in a state of déshabille. You don't want men in there exposing themselves. That sort of thing. She's not asking for anything more than the dignity of women and the safety of women to be maintained. Is it too much to ask? I don't think so. And we admire and like J.K. Rowling on this channel. God bless your mum. Despite this, sales of the immensely popular books of the world famous young wizard have jumped 35%. So what this tells you is that the general public look at this trans opprobrium, this hate and these threats and say, actually, screw you. We like JK. We're going to buy the books. We're going to read them. We're going to buy them for our children. We're going to continue this because these are great books with a great storyline, well written. And she is a wonderfully nice person, not up her own backside, unlike the people such as Emma Watson, who seems to think that because she's an actress, that her view counts. Let me tell you, Emma, it doesn't. You are a worthless human being. You are actually harming your own. So take your money, thank J.K. Rowling for it, and sod off into obscurity. There's a good girl. Anyway, so into it. Sales of Harry Potter books have magically soared this year despite calls for a boycott of author J.K. Rowling over her views on transgender issues we've just covered. Publisher Bloomsbury said the sales of the immensely popular books have jumped 35% in the first half of 2022, and by comparison sales rose by 5% from the start of the year to the February 28. So ever since it sort of all come out that she's fighting for women, the book sales have come up. Potter fans this year celebrated the 25th anniversary of the release of the first book in the series, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, for people who are not in America. And Bloomsbury is hoping for a terrific Christmas as shoppers looking for cheaper gifts turn to books. The Potter publisher said an illustrated version of the Philosopher's Stone will be a top seller this festive period. They're great books. This is the thing. You've got a well-written story. It's not woke. It's not, oh, let's make this an issue, that an issue. All the characters in there are well-rounded characters. They have personalities. They have backstories. They all have their strengths. They all have their weaknesses. It's a marvellous set of books. And it's any child who gets these books should read all through them. I would say you'd need to be 12, I would suggest, would be the ideal age to start reading them. And go through from 12, because at that point, if you can take maybe a year to read them, you are growing through that period as you age through with Harry. And I just think it's a marvellous set of books. So, she deserves all that's coming to her, really, for the talent. But she has, like I say, said about the trans lobby being a bit mad and weird and a threat, in some cases, a threat to women, and they don't like it. Now, I've done videos to show that actually the trans lobby are completely a threat. When you look at the levels of crime that they commit as opposed to normal people, if you look at the things they're demanding, the number of times they're involved with children, it's very, very worrying. Don't get that on the other side of the argument, do you? Normal people, no. This lot, yes. So I actually think that they are a risk, but that's nothing to do with this article. Anyway, as a result, she's been branded a TERF, a trans-exclusionary radical feminist, a transphobic, and a faciist, which she denies. On the other hand, she has massed a loyal group of supporters, here's one, who defend her views and her right to express them. Despite the boycott calls, Bloomsbury the sales have soared. Harry Potter continues to do the most enormous amount of good in spreading the love of reading among children. Nigel Newton, chief executive of Bloomsbury, told The Telegraph, "I'm just concerned with getting Harry Potter into the hands of readers, and there are more of them than ever." Indeed, books are one of the most important things a child can ever have. Obviously, love, security. Books are number 3. Seriously. Any child that doesn't have books has a very sort of bleak future. The publisher unveiled record sales and profits of the 6 months to August 31st. Sales in the period were £123 million, 22% higher than a year before. Then it's just a breakdown of sales, not overly fussed with that. But the principle here is that despite these weirdos saying that Rowling is a terrible person, which she's not, the public completely disagree and are telling the trans lobby, look, we don't give a shit what you say, we're buying the books, look at the sales go up and up and up. And Rowling herself recently commented on, so I think, to paraphrase it, it was, "Oh, your views hurt me, but I looked at my latest, royalties check, and I soon overcome my hurty fees, So good for her, good for her. Anyway, I'll come up, round off, and out. So it just goes to show how wrong the trans are on every issue. This time, they're calling for a ban on a book, or the series of books, by an author they don't like, and yet the general public are saying, actually, we don't care. We like these books. Our kids love these books. We're buying these books. And I think the Harry Potter books will go the same way as, Lord of the Rings, Dickens, Shakespeare, Agatha Christie. They're going to be one of those sets of books that, having been published, will never not be published. They've never gone out of print. Agatha Christie's never gone out of print. Dickens, never out of print. These sort of things. And I think that's what's going to happen with Harry Potter. They're such a big thing. They're so well known. They're so massively popular that anyone who opposes Harry Potter is opposing the vast, vast majority of people. People who now will have grown up and will be giving Harry Potter books to their children. We've already got to the generational Harry Potter thing, where the book, I was 5 and Daddy read it to me. I'm now 25 and I'm reading it to my 5-year-old. That's where we're at. And so once you get to a generational stage with a book like this, it's done forever. So the trans lobby can moan and fight and complain all they like, but they've already lost. The battle has already been lost, and they need to find someone else to pick on. because they've got no argument. They're just hate-filled individuals. Anyway, I shall round it off there. Thanks for listening. Well done to Harry Potter. If you like what you hear and see on the channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notifications, or wave a wand for notifications. Leave a like, leave a comment. Please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, keep reading, and goodbye.